Glomsky Party of 6 says, hi, wondering if Maddie still nurses and if you plan on tandem nursing. So Maddie will be 4 in June, and yes, she is still nursing at night. This is definitely the longest I've ever nursed a child. And it definitely is tied directly to a lot of her sleep problems, because nursing has always been the way I was able to get her back to sleep easily and get sleep myself. So we established this co-sleeping, night nursing kind of routine early on. I'm talking when she was just weeks old. In order for me to be able to get sleep, Maddie would stay up for nearly days without sleeping unless she was nursing constantly. So it was survival when she was an infant that turned into a very strong addiction, I guess, or just the way she sleeps. And that is a cycle that is slowly being broken, but it is a very, very tedious and long process. She only nurses at this point when, number one, she's sick, or number two, during the night when she wakes up and she's really having trouble going back to sleep, and I will nurse her then. So I still nurse her a couple of times a day. So tandem nursing, I am hoping and praying that I am able to completely wean her before the new baby comes. I feel like it is past time to do that. So I'm hoping that that is able to take place, and she can kind of, separate from me and allow the new baby to come in. Nursing the new baby. That is actually a topic of a little bit of dissension between my husband and I. Nursing Maddie was difficult. She was exclusively breastfed, but it was very difficult. She was a very, very, very fussy, colicky baby. And my husband struggled with not having that method to comfort her. He didn't have a way to make a bottle and give the baby to comfort her. He did not, she wouldn't take a passy, so he couldn't give her a passy. And he feels like the nursing, here comes a police officer or something. Let me wait for that. He felt like the breastfeeding was a hardship for him, and because she was such a fussy baby. So as far as the new baby, we've kind of come to an agreement on the breastfeeding. I am going to, as long as he's okay with it, breastfeed for at least the first month from the breast, while pumping and establishing a good milk supply. But ultimately the goal would be to introduce a pacifier early. This is probably going to fly in the face of some of you guys that don't really understand this, but just because of the road that we've walked with her, it's still very fresh in our minds. So we're going to introduce a pacifier early. We're going to introduce a bottle early. I am not going to be hardcore about breast milk only. I was very rigid about that with Maddie, and that caused some trouble. But my plan, and I hope and pray it goes the way I would like for it to go, is to be able to both nurse the baby when he comes, but also be able to pump lots of breast milk and store that, and be able to have that available for my husband, to be able to feed the baby as well, frequently. So will the baby take to that? Nobody knows. Hopefully it works, and we'll just have to play it by ear. But the name of the game, baby number 5 for me, is flexibility. I am not going to be extremely rigid as far as what I expect from my birth. I am not going to be rigid about what I expect from this baby with breastfeeding or anything like that. I'm just going to be flexible, and we're going to look at the baby and see what's working well, how is the baby responding, and we are going to go off of just what's going well and be very flexible with that, because that you know, is just the way that I really feel like it has to be with this baby being number 5. All right, so Tribe of Thompson says favorite books, curriculum for science and history. So science, we usually use the Usborne books on science, and we have lots of those little books, and whenever we cover a science topic in our classical conversations curriculum, we will just look up the information in the Usborne book, and we will just read out of that. I also have an Usborne Encyclopedia of Science and Encyclopedia of History that I did not utilize a lot over the past year that I would like to incorporate more in the fall. So we're going to use those for history. Again, I haven't used anything specific up to this point, but I will say here's a little curriculum spoiler, is I have had Story of the World, the book and the DVD or the CD, audio CDs for book number 3. For a while, we started it our first year of homeschooling and never finished it. But we're going to go back to that in the fall, and I've just recently picked up the activity book that goes with that, and so we will be working through that history curriculum in the fall, which I'm really excited about. So that is the plan. Birds. Okay. Y Boutin, B-O-U-T-I-N 04. Boutin, I'm not sure. Are you leaving the amount of children you have up to God? So that has not been exactly our stance on it, so I would say no to that question. As far as birth control goes, though, I will say that I am very strongly against oral contraceptives because of the am I saying this right? The abortifacient aspect of it, to where when the egg and sperm, you know, the egg is fertilized, because the lining is so thin because of the birth control, it causes that to abort. That is messing with God's plan in my personal belief. So I do not do oral contraceptives. I have had I have done that in the past. I've also done an IUD early on, before I really had strong convictions about birth control. The IUD I got really sick from, and I had to have that removed, and yeah, so we have done more natural family planning and barrier methods and things like that. But I feel like at this point, you know, you have to kind of weigh the fact of, can we support the amount of children that we have? I feel like every child that we do have, the Lord provides for that child and increases income, and He just takes care of them. So I'm not worried about it, but I don't think that it would be wise for us to continue to have more and more children. So we have talked about it, and we'll most likely be doing either a vasectomy or you know, a tubal or something after this baby. So that is the answer to that question. Dana Chap 123 says, why did you start homeschooling your younger and not your older ones? How or when did you become a believer? And if it's not too personal, why did you and your hubby separate from your previous spouses? She says, I enjoy watching your sweet family, and blessings. So let's see. Homeschooling didn't really enter even into my psyche until and again, this is going to be a really long video, so I'm just going to give the short, very short version of this answer. But I didn't even know about homeschooling really when my two younger or older, Jacob and Gavin, were little. Jacob and Gavin went to public school. Jacob was, I think he went up to the fourth grade in public school. That is when we moved to a new school district, and then I was visiting the new public school that they would be going to I was very, very, very struck by what I saw. I was not happy at all with the way the school was run, with the students in the school. Alright guys, so it's been a couple of days and I'm just now getting back to finishing this Q&A because I definitely enjoy doing this kind of video. So also I will ask if you guys have any more questions for the next Q&A, which I'm going to try to schedule out, and I'll let you guys know how frequently I'm going to do that. But leave your questions either on my Instagram, Christy.organizedMOM, or leave your questions underneath this video, and I'll be sure to answer your question. So now to figure out where we're at here. So let me see if I can figure out what the last question was. Alright. So I definitely won't get through all of them in this video. But hopefully I'll get through. I'm sorry you guys, my nose is itching. Anytime I come outside it starts to itch because the pollen is like super bad here. Alright, so let's see. Alright, I don't remember where I left off exactly. But I think it was, why did you start homeschooling your younger and not your older? And I think I touched a little bit on this before my battery died, but we moved to a bad school district. Long story short, we visited a school that we did not like, and like we were looking into different options, and my husband actually brought up homeschooling, and I was very much against it at the time just because I was working a lot at that point and I had a very demanding baby, which was Maddie, and I felt like it would just be too much. I just did not know that that God was gonna really just work on my heart in that area. So I became extremely convicted to homeschool, and the Lord just really worked on my heart in that area. And despite my best efforts to rationalize why I couldn't do it, He showed me that that's what He wanted me to do. So we went down that road and we've been doing that ever since. How or when did you become a believer? So I was raised in church, a conservative Southern Baptist church, and I became a believer fairly young, maybe 6 or 7 years old. At that time though, I do not feel like I fully understood the decision that I made. And then so around the age of maybe 12, 13, I fully dedicated my life to Christ, and I was baptized for a second time. So at that point I really felt like, I just felt like I did not understand, you know, that it was more of just an act versus a true acceptance of Jesus Christ and knowledge of Him and everything at that point. So I've actually been baptized twice. If it's not too personal, why did you and your hubby separate from your previous spouses? I enjoy watching your sweet family. Blessings. This is from Dana, D-A-N-A-C-H-A-P 123. So unfortunately, I'm really not at liberty to talk about our ex-spouses. There's a lot of history there, and just out of respect for that, just personal family issues and things like that, and you know, the other people involved that don't have a say-so of whether or not, you know, their life story is, you know, put on the internet. I don't talk about that. At one point I had kind of discussed a little bit about what happened in my, you know, my previous marriage and my husband's previous marriage, and then I have since removed that video. So unfortunately I will not be able to answer that question. I'm so sorry. So Crystal, let's see, Lange, I believe, L-A-N-G-E. If you could pick a superpower, what would it be besides being a mom? Oh my goodness, a superpower. Okay, let's see. What would my superpower be?
Homeschooling?
A superpower. Oh, I know one. It's pretty basic, but I would love to be able to just like teleport, you know what I mean? Like just think, I want to be at Walmart and be at Walmart, or I want to be at, you know, a family member's house and be there, because I really don't like being in the car. I get really car sick, and yeah, I don't really enjoy being in the car, so if I could just teleport, that would be fantastic.
Mom,
so that would be my...
You always go to work and go to building.
What?
Daddy's at work.
You're silly.
Daddy always go to building when you are here.
I should probably get my tripod again because my arm's getting tired, but we'll see how long this can last. Okay, Alaskan Mama Vlogger says, was baby number 5 planned or surprise? Will you share his name before birth, and will you film the birth for YouTube? So, was baby number 5 planned or surprise? Well, a little bit of both. We were talking about and considering having another baby, and usually when we do that, we tend to be a little less careful. So I would say it wasn't fully a surprise, but it wasn't fully completely like plotted and planned. Do you know what I mean? So a little bit of both. Will you share his name before birth? And the answer to that is yes, I'm sure that we will. We just have no idea, and we are praying about a name, and at this point God has not given us a name, so we're just kind of waiting on that. Will you film the birth for YouTube? And I am fully planning on doing a birth vlog. So I don't know if my sister or sister-in-law is available. Maybe one of them would be willing to video for me. I won't put that on Jimmy because that's, you know, a little too much, I feel like, for him to have to worry about, and he's, you know, it's just not his thing. So hopefully I can find someone to be willing to video, and maybe I've even considered looking into the professional birth videos, so I may even look into that. Tips, oh, this is from Stephanie Gamble. Tips and advice on potty training girls. My daughter will be 3 in August, and we try to get her to go on the potty, and she will maybe once or twice a week, and that's it. Yes, I have tips and tricks on potty training, and you may or may not enjoy this answer, but the tip and the trick to potty training with ease is do not rush it. Do not try to potty train your child on your timetable. Wait until they are ready. That's their, yes, you are potty trained. I do not believe in rushing children to potty train. So wait until they are actually wanting to go on their own and showing interest, and just encourage them. We use sticker charts with Maddie. So, and every now and then we'd give her like a few M&Ms or something like that to motivate her. But we did not push it, and I will wait as long as it takes for the child to be ready, and then once they are ready to potty train, they do it pretty much on their own, and they will do it very quickly. So just don't push it, don't rush it, don't be impatient with it, and it will really and truly be it'll be a breeze. It'll be a true breeze. Stacy P05, as a homeschooler, do you have a quiet time for the kids during the day? If so, how do you arrange that? Well, I have done that very inconsistently, but that is definitely something that I would love to reincorporate. It's just that things have just been kind of wacko around here, and as far as routine and schedule, there hasn't been much of one. So I think it's very beneficial for a quiet time. I did that with my older boys when they were little, and every day I would make them lay down or go to their room for either a nap, or they could read or play quietly, but they had to have like an hour, 45 minutes to an hour of quiet time, and I think it's wonderful to do that. But am I great at doing that? No, I'm not. Okay, so James Barnes, I'm not sure, JAMSS.Barnes. Where do you have the best luck finding skirts? So it can be difficult to find skirts, especially skirts in the length that you want and the style that you want. Most of my skirts have come from the thrift store. So I go to thrift stores frequently, and I usually pay maybe $4 or so to $5 for a skirt. I've also have had some luck finding skirts at Target, and I have gotten a couple at Old Navy. Not a lot, but for the most part, thrift stores. That is where I get almost all of my skirts. Other than being a stay-at-home mom, what is your dream job? My dream job is YouTubing. I would love to just YouTube full-time and be able to bring a substantial income for my family. And you know, at this point it does bring some income, but it is most definitely not substantial, and it's not anything that we could live off of. So I love vlogging, I love making videos, and I would love to do this full-time. What is something you've always wanted to do but for one reason or another haven't been able to do just yet? This is from the same person. I want to take the kids on a Disney cruise, and I would like to take them to Disney World, and we haven't been able to do either one of those. It's just something that my kids want to do. It's something that I want to do. Yeah, and some traveling. I would like to travel, but we haven't been able to do that much. So this is from Wiley Kelly. I don't know if I'm saying these names right, guys. Sorry. W-I-L-L-E-Y Kelly 61. And that is, what is your favorite math curriculum? Do you still work as a nurse? Favorite math curriculum? Well, I loved Math UC when we started that with Jacob, when Jacob was in the 5th grade, I believe. Definitely was a fantastic fit for him. And for Mason, we've always used Horizons, and so both of those I really enjoy, and I think they're different in their methods, but they're both very effective. The Math UC I love because it has the DVD and the instructor, and I really like that, and the manipulatives are really good. And the Horizons is also good because of the fact that it is a spiral approach, so they're always reviewing and mastering the concepts, and it's very brightly colored and laid out nicely, and Mason has really excelled with that math curriculum, so I like both of those. We have done Saxon. I don't care for it. Probably will not use it again, just to be honest. And do you still work as a nurse? And I answered that in the last video, so that is no, not for the time being. Sodbuster Living says, any nervousness at being a mommy to a nursling again? So I can't remember if I think I answered this the other day, but Maddie still nurses at night, so I haven't ever really stopped. And as far as having an infant nursing all the time, I'm not sure how that's gonna go, but I'm not really super nervous about it. I just would hope that I would be able to produce lots of milk and be able to pump, and it would just go a little more smoothly than it did with Maddie. So I'm hoping for really great results as far as that goes, and I'm hoping because of the fact that I really haven't stopped lactating that will help me be able to produce a good amount of milk. So I'm hoping for that. I'm a little bit nervous about the interrupted sleep. I think it scares me right now. It makes me more nervous just because I am so tired all the time right now, and just trying to think about being this tired and waking all through the night is a little bit intimidating. But you know, hopefully I'll feel a lot better by that time. And you know, this isn't my first rodeo, so I'm sure we'll get through it. Let's see. Shayna Bug, Shayna Bug 8. Other than baby name books and the Bible, guys, I can't talk over you. Other than baby name books and the Bible, what are you reading right now? And I'm dying to know, did you get what I sent you? So yes, I got your shipment, and thank you so much for that. It was super sweet, and I showed that in another vlog. And what am I reading right now? I am reading what is it called? I just started it and I'm like the slowest reader ever. But the book is, and I can't think, Choose Real or Choosing Real. I think it's Choosing Real. So I don't really know if I love it or not yet because I'm just into the first chapter. So that's what I'm reading. And I have lots of aspirations to read other things, and I just have to get better about doing that. And then English, REEENGLISH. I know you went back to, guys, please stop, please. All right, well, that's what happens on the trampoline. I know you went back to work to help with finances, and has Jimmy work pick up with no recent videos in the van on your way to work? Have you taken leave? Answered that question. I am not currently working right now. The kids are fighting. Country in the city. With another child coming into the family, are you planning on moving into a bigger house? So we had, you know, considered moving, like right after I found out I was pregnant. We were kind of looking around and, you know, thinking we have to move. But we really would like to buy our next house, and so we don't want to rush it. So the plan for now is to potentially buy our home in the spring of this coming year. Spring, summer of next year. So for now, we're going to just stay put and be content where we're at. Raylan Reed 22, any tips on meal planning? Where do you find new recipes? I'm struggling so hard right now on trying to come up with things for my kids to eat with veggies because the little ones are so picky and hate vegetables. So, meal planning, you guys, I get almost all of my meal ideas on Pinterest, and I just have boards and I search out Pinterest and I pin different recipes to different boards, and whenever I'm meal planning, I just go back to those, or I will go back to previous meal plans and I will make a meal plan from the previous meal plan. And I also have a recipe binder that I have put some tried and true recipes in that I'll occasionally go into and pull from there. So yeah, all my meal planning happens on Pinterest. And occasionally I will try a new recipe from a YouTuber that recommends it. Okay, homegrown and wild. Why does Jacob live with you and your other son doesn't? Which one is older? So Gavin, we have a 50-50 split with Gavin, and so he stays, I get him every weekend. He stays with his dad during the school year. This is a fairly new arrangement over the past 2 years or so. Let's see, his dad really didn't want him being homeschooled, and so when we started homeschooling, we kind of switched up our custodial arrangement to accommodate him going into his dad's school district. So all the school days, holidays that he gets off from school, I have him every weekend. I have him all of the summer. So I get him all throughout the summer, and basically, you know, pretty much any time that, you know, he wants him, he gets him, and whenever I want him, I get him, and we just kind of try and be flexible with that. It's something I've grown accustomed to doing, and as much as it really stinks, it's just the fact of life that I had to kind of learn to get used to, and the Lord has really given me a peace about it. So that is how that works. And Jacob is older. Jacob is 14 and Gavin is actually 12, even though Gavin is a bit taller than Jacob. So Rachel, day-to-day joys, what do you get from Chick-fil-A? That's a funny question. So I get either, in early pregnancy, I always got their chicken noodle soup, just because it was the only thing that would really settle my stomach. So the chicken noodle soup I love, or I get a #1 or a #1 deluxe. And I will get the fries and always Polynesian sauce and sweet tea. So that's what I eat from Chick-fil-A.